From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Superdome in New Orleans. Today, we reach Week 15, and we've got a good matchup in store between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. The kicker for the Saints, Will Lutz, has it teed up, and here we go from New Orleans. Taken in at the 3. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. On the first snap, here's Mayfield. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football.
A part of why they came to this week with a winning record is that they feed off of mistakes like this. And now it's a prime opportunity, just moments in the game, to get a short field touchdown off of their big defensive play. Now, on the other side, they were already the underdog in this one. They just made their uphill battle just a little bit tougher.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. They lose the yardage, and of course they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Winston to give. It's Kamara. Give him 6 on the run. It'll be 3rd down now with still a long way to go to get to the first down marker.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Vita Vea make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. It's a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterback
looking for Thomas. He's got him. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Saints are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. It's good on the extra point. Lead goes to 10-0. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. Taken at the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future as they look ahead to the offseason. What spots?
And Mayfield again with the interception, his third. Picked off by Paulson and Debo. I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely up, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
Now, think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you're throwing this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
Kamara up the middle, and the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. A loss of 2 there, second down.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
Throwing on second and long. Winston. This is Smith with the ground. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 22 yards there, a first down. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he's eaten up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instinct. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. And he stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway, because that's your strength.
On third down, Winston. Hard throw, incomplete. He was out there waving his arms saying, throw it here, dropped it, not a good one.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball. And he didn't concentrate for a second.
So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. The corner gets plays up for his super throw.
Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw.
He finds his man. It's Charlie Kohler.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Mayfield to throw it.
Well, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. It's going to end up a 3rd down.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how low can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one. Force the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That gain on third down, good for 28.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things are pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
On 2nd and 9, Mayfield. He completes this to Russell Gage. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
But what looked like a march to the end zone is in a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Alontae Taylor. And the Saints are going to get possession of the football as time will run out on this first quarter of play. 13-0 is the score after 1 on EA Sports. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Play fake. Winston. They'll find its tight end. It's Adam Troutman. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. That last throw moves him past 27,989 yards for his career, so that means he moves ahead of the blonde bomber, Terry Bradshaw, on the all-time list.
And boy, he loved to throw it downfield, didn't he? That's why he was the blonde bomber. Remember, he'd throw it downfield to John Stallworth and Lynn Swann. That was gorgeous. Big throws, big plays. Terry Bradshaw.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. That is now 5 interceptions that he has thrown in this ball game. If I asked you to speculate what's possibly going on in his head, what would you say?
Well, if he's as mentally strong as I believe he is, he understands that not all of these picks have been his fault. You know, some of the throws, yes, but there have been a good number of them where he hasn't been helped by his own receivers, and they've turned into interceptions. So he knows if he keeps firing, perhaps good things can happen, not just in this game, but especially in later ones.
Locates Kamara on the out route. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11. Good push up front in that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked up by Jamel Dean. And the Buccaneers are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line.
Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician.
Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Mayfield on first down. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
That's complete. It's Chris Godwin. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run well.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll go up the middle with White. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Meanwhile, Mayfield's throw caught by Kohler. And this is going to be another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 30. That's a gain of 13 as they try to whittle away at this 13-point deficit. On 1st and 10, Mayfield. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Saints are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. They give it and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times.
But sometimes an incompletion is the right play, and he showed that he's learned from his earlier interception on that throw. Instead of forcing it, he just tossed it away.
Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
Jameis to throw it. Being chased out left. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight at just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. 1:55 left to go in the first half of play. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, we were having a tough patch. This too shall pass, this too shall pass. And in fact, we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And he'll get that to Fournette, complete. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. To throw, Mayfield. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Bucs try it on 4th down but come up empty. And it'll be a turnover on downs. On 1st and 10, Winston. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. 2nd and 11. Winston now from the 50. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And he fires one that's intercepted. And the Bucs force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
That's good for a Buccaneer first, a pickup of 12 yards. Throwing, Mayfield. Looking downfield for Godwin. It got his man, complete. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Mayfield looks to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try to pick up another 1st down.
Blankenship's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Set now to go for the 3rd quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. Here comes Darius Phillips out of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, there were 3 talking points at the half, partner. All of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Kamara gets it again on 2nd down. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Winston on 3rd and 2. Buying time, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The defense rising to the challenge coverage and setting him back on the sack. Here comes the Saints punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. "42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. On 2nd and 11 now. Mayfield. His throw taken in by Isaiah Likely. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Mayfield. And my goodness, another interception. Marcus May with a pick. And the Saints are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line. The number 7 usually lucky here for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer, the last to do it in 2001 to throw 7 picks. Now it's Kamara in the passing game, and he'll get this up to right around the 8-yard line. A gain of 5. 3rd and 7 now. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Throwing, Winston. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. About 25 yards on 3rd down. They'll take it.
Now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. A 10th carry for Kamara. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Winston from the gun on 3rd down. And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. It's Devin White, the linebacker, and the Buccaneers are going to take possession of the football. And that's now a half-dozen interceptions for him over the last 2 games. Because CD, remember, he threw 3 in the last ball game and now 3 more here.
And the way that you presented, partner, I'm not sure what sounds worse, right? Half a dozen over the last 2 games, or 3 the last game, 3 this game. Either way, it's way too many. And that's something they'll have to work on, hoping to get through the rest of this game without having to address it again.
A 2nd down throw for Mayfield. That is caught. Michael Pittman with it. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. 39 yards there, a big one. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. Here's White. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. Now Mayfield. And it's caught. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
Obviously, this has not been a bad game throwing the football, so we got
interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Now Mayfield on 3rd and goal. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. That's the former Buckeye Pete Werner getting the sack.
And that's the kind of stand all defenses are seeking. 3rd and goal, backs against the wall, and they get a monster sack, and now they're going to force them into a field goal. For them, that's a win.
Now Mayfield on 4th down. Steps away. And now here is another interception. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. 30, 20, 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, Charles, there's some visibly frustrated players and coaches on that sideline right now because those halftime adjustments didn't work. The turnover problems continuing here in the second half, and the defense now sitting pretty comfortably as a result of that pick six.
That's a great observation, too, Brandon, because they did make adjustments at halftime. But how about this other group staying a step ahead despite whatever happened in that other locker room? No surprise they're leading, and it's appropriate. Those defenders got to add to the lead directly.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles, if they're going to try to pull off an impressive. Now White lost the football, and this is picked up by the Saints. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line. Well, if these guys wanted to get back in this game, they needed an almost perfect second half, and down 3 scores. A lost fumble here certainly doesn't fit into that plan.
You know, it reminds me of my plan in college to get an A on the papers I turned in, but that didn't work out too well either. Too many mistakes by both of us. I mean, that's just pure and simple. And that's why that's exactly where they are in this ball game. They're going to need a huge turnaround if they want to try to win this one.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. Now Winston. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Touchdown, Saints. Alvin Kamara from 10 yards out. And the Saints are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. That's with the extra point. And the lead is now 24. After the touchdown, wants to kick it off. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Here's Mayfield. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. The offense on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and a mile. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up.